Hello everybody and welcome to the return of Front Row Racing's ProjectCARS DTMs for Season 6, Round 1 from the Catalunya Grand Prix circuit. I'm Front Row Racing DP and joining me in the commentary box today is Front Row Racing JS. How are you, James?
Yep, not bad. We're not allowed to talk about the Grand Prix, so hopefully I'll be teasing you all night with that.
Cheers, thanks. F1 talk is banned because I have not watched it yet and I'm not going to be able to watch it until after this broadcast. Just to let the viewers know, with this being round 1, obviously it is the start of a brand new season on ProjectCARS, and there's a couple of minor changes to the format of the Front Row Racing ProjectCARS season. Which we will go through in a few moments' time. I just wanted to make sure I've posted and shared the links where available. And I will apologise as well if you can hear what sounds like an airplane trying to take off. That'll be my PlayStation. I have cleaned it out, but it seems to want to try and become an aeroplane instead of a games console. Okay, so ProjectCARS Season 6 in the DTMs. There's some change arounds of some drivers, but the car is exactly the same as 5. Why? Because it's a great car, good fun to drive, and interesting to crash as well. But onto the format of the season, just to let the viewers know as well that James is just sorting out a driver who's got a bit of a problem with his wheel at the moment, so he's trying to find out if that driver's going to be able to race or not, and if not, we'll get a reserve in. But yeah, format of the events is going to change slightly. It's still a sprint race and a feature race. That will stay the same. However, the way the sprint race is done is going to be conducted in a slightly different manner. One of the problems we had last season was it putting myself and James on pole and second place for the sprint race, which means we had to rush to try and get off the grid. So what we're going to do for this season is do something slightly different. Instead of it being a warm-up session into the sprint race, the warm-up session is going to be conducted in a qualifying session. It's still a random grid, but it means that James and myself will be put at the back of the grid. Any drivers that are able to get a lap time in, great, well done. You'll get the benefit of that. For the rest of them, it's going to be a random order. Or is it completely random? You'll have to wait and see. But it should put myself and James at the back of the grid. That's why that's being done. We'll then do the sprint race. The top 3 drivers from the sprint race will not be allowed to qualify for the feature race. So after the sprint race, there'll be a new lobby, a 10-minute qualifying session, followed by a 5-minute warm-up, and then a feature race, which is obviously longer than the sprint race. And the top 3 drivers from the sprint race will not be allowed to qualify for that feature race. Which means that any driver that is able to get a lap in the warm-up session for the sprint race and qualify near the front has a chance of winning the race, but it comes at the cost of not being able to qualify for the next event. So there's a risk and reward situation potentially for many of the drivers there. James, from yourself, a little update on the driver situation and any other info that I have potentially missed.
Well, it's not looking good unfortunately for GT Gavin, who seems to have wheel issues, not working currently, not even powering on. So an invite has gone out to Dre6181, who's just turned up in the lobby, and he will be taking his place. There are still 2 spots left. 2 of the drivers don't appear to have turned up, which I believe is Nightwalker 2014 and GBM Vectra.
Yeah, which is a little bit of a shame. We would always ask that drivers let us know if they're not going to be able to make it to an event, so we can get other drivers in. But they have had an invite, so if they are able to get on, they should be able to join us for the sprint race. I would say if they're not in for by the end of the sprint race or there for the feature race, we could always invite in one of the reserves for that. Okay, apologies if I'm a little bit slow today, so to speak. It's been a very busy day for myself. So, James, when you're ready, we'll go through the drivers, shall we? Because there is a slightly different order of the drivers. GBM Oldman is a guy that was racing last season, but we've got two new guys, Scott McFall and Stig V. Rob. I'm aware that Scott's name may be said a little bit differently, but I'm not going to go down that route. Stig V. Rob, also another new driver. Dex, we saw him race a lot last season, came on a long way through the course of it. Mulrine MUFC 91, he's a guy I've known for quite some time and it should be interesting to see how he gets on today. Jason, yes, it was you at the front on the picture. Jason, we know what he's capable of. Could we see him win races this season? Maybe. We'll have to wait and find out. Kulu Kutu, unlucky with damage at the start of races last season. If he can avoid that, potential to be a race winner because he was phenomenal in the rallycross races. Adam 4600, we know what he's all about. Likes to take tyres as long as possible. And Woolhouse, who was another driver that has improved massively over the course of the last couple of seasons. Dave the Hart, previous champion. He's a potential race winner, that's for sure. Ardington, some people may not know of him, but he's been involved in front row racing for a long, long time, so it's nice to see him back on the grid. He's in as a reserve driver for Brake and Clays. Dre 6181 did a few reserve races last season. He's taking that opportunity again tonight. And GT Gavin has now joined us as well. So we've got 13 drivers ready to battle it out around the Catalunya Grand Prix circuit. Now, I can see on my screen it says it's for 4 laps of the sprint race, but I'm just wondering, James, if you could give us some additional information on the laps for the sprint race and the feature race.
Yep, so the sprint race will be 4 laps around the Circuit de Barcelona. Then we will jump to a second lobby, the first one being the sprint race. The tyre wear will be set to realistic, so they should have plenty of grip even on the soft tyres to finish 4 flying laps for the sprint race. Then we will jump to a second lobby, which I will then set up in about 20 minutes time. Then on that lobby, the tyre wear will be changed. That will go from realistic tyre wear to ×3 tyre wear. So we will see, hopefully, a fair bit of pit stops and strategy going on, as we found out last season when we set it to ×2. We got used to a scenario where it was pretty much one stop all the way. This should hopefully force more action and pit stops and a bit more unpredictability. So,
okay,
here we go.
Sorry, James, I was just going to let you know. Nightwalker, I've just spotted, did send a message in. Obviously, I've been busy, so I'm not been able to check it. He had sent a message in saying he's not going to be able to make it. So if you do want to get a reserve driver in his place, now's the time to do it. Now, obviously for the viewers, while James is sorting that out, obviously for the viewers, we would say 8 o'clock is the start time. With this being the first race of the season, there's a few things that we've obviously needed to go through. So we'll get the race underway as soon as possible. Trust me, there's no one that wants to get it going as soon as possible more than me, because I've had no dinner. I've had no breakfast. I've had no dinner. I've had a very busy day today. And if I start laughing like I did during the rallycross race, I could have another blackout, which, whether anyone believes me or not, it did actually happen. I was talking to Front Row Racing GP about it the next day. I honestly was sat here and I laughed so hard I nearly knocked myself out, which is not a situation you really want to find yourself in, but there you go. Okay, it looks like GT Gavin may have just disconnected, so he's going to need another invite, unless he's still trying to get his wheel working. I mean, there's nothing more depressing when you're a racer than when your wheel does not work.
So, B Fastman is at the top of the list, so he will be sent an invite, and also we will send an invite to I Ettel at the top of the list, if either of them are listening. Hopefully there should be none. It's first come served.
First served.
The reserve drives.
Yep. Well, once you've sent those invites, I think we send the drivers over to the track as soon as we can, because we're getting up to almost 15:15 now. I mean, I'm trying to think, they should be able to join during the qualifying session, shouldn't they?
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, in that case then, drivers, get yourselves ready, start your engines, until we get disconnected, that is. We're about to head over to the Catalunya circuit for a warm-up session, is what we're going to call it, and if anyone gets a lap time in, bonus for you. And then we're on to the sprint race, as GT Gavin has just managed to get back in. But yeah, I mean, the DTMs, they're cars that we'll use last season. The drivers really enjoyed them. But I also want to mention as well at this point, anyone that saw the post that was put out on Facebook this morning about the format, information about the format, and also confirmed driver list for this season, and also the amount of drivers in the reserves. You can see from that list why recently Front Row Racing has asked for people, if they want to apply to be a Front Row Racing ProjectCARS admin, to get in contact with Front Row Racing JS or get in contact with myself, or send Front Row Racing a message on Facebook with your application, because there are quite a lot of drivers, and the only way that we could really accommodate them all in a full racing sense is if there's a few more people that could potentially help us out with those kind of things. And I've just spotted, you know what, so there was something I spotted the other day, James. I was going to mention to you. Oh, he's not showing me his name on the list here, unfortunately. Let's see, is he on that list? No. Aetel, as we call him. I think we're calling him his name wrong.
It's Aetel, innit?
No, I reckon it's Eltel.
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 Right, okay.
Yeah, bit like Londoner. Eltel.
Well, you're sounding a bit Chinese there.
No comments. We'll stop there. The potential is to the potential is there to offend way too many people.
Yeah, that's me through and through. I usually get slapped by my girlfriend. She's like, "You can't say things like that, James." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, definitely. Okay, right. As I mentioned before, this is a warm-up session that is hosted in the qualifying session, and I will be honest. If it turns out that either me or James do start anywhere other than at the back of the grid, we may review this particular session. But it's just one of those things, isn't it, James? We wanted to make sure that we weren't at the front, because if we have any problems retiring from the session, we've got the whole grid behind us trying to start the race. Whereas what we want is to be at the back, but at the same time, the sprint race, we want it to be that kind of random order, which is why it is going to be a 5-minute session, no matter whether it's here or at Bathurst. At Bathurst, you're not going to get a lap in. Well, that's not the point. It's not a qualifying session. It's a warm-up session. Get your fuel load sorted, get your setup sorted, get out there on track and see how it's feeling. It's not a qualifying session, although that's what it's called on the screen. Sorry, go on, James.
Eltel has turned up to the circuit, so we've got a full grid.
Okay, I'm going to try and show his name. Apologies for flicking through, because I want to show you that it's. I reckon it is. See, that is definitely Eltel. That's what that is.
Eltel.
It's not Etel. It's Eltel.
Eltel.
Yeah. Okay, James, I'm just going to mention, I mean, it's looking quite sort of sunny out there. Some deep shadows, though. But I do want to quickly mention about the weather. As always, in ProjectCARS, the weather forecast will be posted on the week ahead post on Mondays. So today's weather was posted last Monday. Next week's weather will be posted tomorrow. So for any of the drivers that want to have any kind of idea of what the weather might be, you'll be able to find out on there. As always, no driver is going to know exactly when weather may come in, because when sorting the weather out, we do like to keep the weather slot 2 as normal weather. Otherwise, everybody knows it's going to rain at that point. Okay, so James, we're 3 minutes into the warm-up session. Any predictions for this race, the sprint race, the feature race this season?
Well, I've got to say, as we're just watching Mulrine spin it around, I can say a lot of drivers are really up for this. They can, I mean, we've seen throughout the mid-season break between season 5 and 6, Kulu really been impressing. Just watching him in practice sessions,
you know what?
He's got some serious pace.
You know what? Front Row Racing GP said to me the other day. He says my missus was sat there watching that, absolutely cracking herself laughing, and then she was like, "Hang on a minute, that guy's only got 3 wheels on his car, and he's quicker than everybody else." And that's what it was. I mean, okay, it was a rallycross event, and if nobody knows what a rallycross event is, a week ago we hosted a fun event. Check it out; it's on YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised if those kind of events happen in the future. It's something I've done before, and they're great fun. I mean, I actually said to Casely last night, I says, "Oh, by the way, well done on rolling over Kulu Kutu," and he said, "You know what? It was oddly satisfying." And that's part of the fun of it. It's like, okay, in racing, you're not meant to be crashing into people, but in rallycross, you can do what you want. This, however, is not rallycross, and we want to see good racing, that is for sure. I just want to just quickly check as well, James, blue flags, that was something that last season, blue flags were not a factor. Dre, nice little spin there for us at the end of the warm-up session. But yeah, blue flags, are they in play this season? Are they not in play this season?
Well, we heard from a lot of drivers they were not huge fans of blue flags, but we heard from a lot of viewers they really liked them, so they're staying, unfortunately, for the drivers.
What? So blue flag rules apply?
No.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the... worded that a bit wrong there. Yeah, the blue flag rule is same as last season.
Okay.
Null and void.
Yeah, no blue flags. Now, interestingly, quite a few drivers were able to get a lap in, and look at that nice full grid, and it doesn't look like I'm quite far down at the order, but yeah, Dave the Hart managed to get himself a lap time in, so he's going to be up for a good start here. So as we get ready to start the sprint race then, do the usual camera work, flicking through to try and get up to the lead, and Dave the Hart has had a good start, but he's going to come under pressure down into turn 1 as Kutu and Dex are right behind him.
Yeah, Kulukutu showing form once again. We've got Adam 4600 trying to move. I can hear Crash Bang Wallop in the background. Let's have a look.
I could hear Crash Bang Wallop as well. So we've got a right nice little gaggle of cars here. Let's see, Mulrine leading Woolhouse, and dodgy cameras here, apologies for that. Oh, dive up the inside. Was that GT Gavin 2? Oh, I think it might have been. It was either GT Gavin 2 or Jason. No, it was GT Gavin 2. A nice chuck up the inside of turn 4, but he's lost out overall, and the car behind bit sideways as they've now got Woolhouse right behind him.
Yeah, GT Gavin really hustling the back of Adam 4600.
Oh, Dave the Arp Def. Oh, we got an off. That's Adam 4600 into the gravel. He's going to have to try and make sure he gets back to the track safely as the car's behind him. Ooh.
It's Dre and Scott McFall in the white and navy blue car, as Dre is in the red and black car coming up behind Adam 4600.
Yep, so Adam dropped down from about 4th place then to 8th, but as they get ready to come into the last few corners of the first lap of the race.
Mulrine spun it round.
He's trying to recover.
IL tells under pressure now, being forced off circuit by Adam 4600 into the chicane, and that's like Mulrine straight back through.
It has. So although Mulrine lost out, he's managed to gain overall, and now we're on to the start finish straight here where DRS is going to be very effective in these cars. Jason though, he's up to 5th. He's got a little bit of a gap to 4th place at the moment, but it's this little battle behind Mulrine, Adam 4600, that could get interesting. And I tell you what, who's that? GBM Oldman. He's down in 11th place at the moment. He's trying to work his way through the field. Now, James, obviously this sprint race is probably going to go quite quickly, as sprint races should, but I'm just wondering if you could quickly talk about points, perhaps, as Scott McFall, I'm going to call him.
Sorry, we've got Oldman all over the back of Dre for 10th position, which will be the start of the points for the sprint race, and I'll run through them in just a moment.
No problem. Obviously more points. Oh, just behind Dex. Dex, he was up in 3rd place at the start, or 2nd. But that's right, he was battling for 2nd up until turn 1. So, and it looks like he's got damage on his car, the way that car is twitching around a little bit. Okay, another look back.
Four car gaggle. Mulrine in 6th place, Adam 4600 in 7th, and IL Tell in 8th, and Scott McFall. And it looks to me like Mulrine's under pressure from Adam.
He is. Adam's made the move. Oh, it not quite worked as Mulrine went to take the corner. That sent Adam off, and the Carpenter's now right behind him, nearly collects him as well. That's unfortunate for Adam 4600.
Yeah, definitely. I think he turned in and didn't realise there were a car already steaming up his inside. Adam won't be impressed with that, and he's looking to re-attack.
Yep, sometimes though, going for that switchback move, it can have that kind of effect. You see the rear end of the other guy's car, and not a lot you can do about it. But there we go.
So yeah, just to let the viewers know, the top three will obviously come away with the most points, as Adam is snipping at the back.
He's not. He's going right past him.
That was a late lunge there from Adam, and nicely done.
Well, I have heard that Adam has spent quite some time in the gym, so lunges are something he should be well warmed up to now. Spandex and everything, from what I've been hearing. Okay, I made that up, but it sounded a lot of fun to me. But Mulrine coming under Scott, a bit more pressure now as well.
Yeah. Scott is really hustling the back of his yellow and black DTM car.
That he is. Okay, just a quick check up at the front. Dave the Harp leading this race then. He's exactly where he will want to be. And if he finishes there, he'll be leading the championship standings, but he also won't be able to qualify in the feature race. Kulukutu, second place, said he's one to keep an eye on, and GT Gavin too. We know he's got speed, but we also know he's got wheel issues at the moment, so we'll have to see how he gets on. Currently sitting in third. Woolhouse, though, he's quite happily sitting in fourth, trying to catch him up. Jason in fifth, and then this is where it gets interesting, because he's being chased by ILTEL and a whole gaggle of cars that all want his position.
Yeah, Scott McFall, I think I'm probably saying his name wrong, he's slightly forcing Mulrine off circuit, but he's up the inside, and Mulrine's trying to fight back, but he's fighting fresh air there. He's going to let Oldman through. I
think with Scott, we may just have to call him Scott and leave it at that. I'm just wondering if Jason is going to come under attack here.
Yeah, he had a bad exit out of the final corner, running all over the curb as we're on to the final lap of the race in this sprint race.
Wow. Sprint races, exactly what it says on the tin. It's a sprint and it goes very, very quickly. Although, I know we were talking about it during the Rallycross event. Oh, we've got a spinner! We've got a spinner! Mulrine off into the barrier he goes. That's unfortunate for him, and he might be about to lose two more places.
Right back on the racing line. Unfortunately, he's trying to get out of the way. But yeah, that is his race for the sprint race done for points. As ILTEL is all over the back of Jason for P5.
He's not all over the back of him. He's on the back of him. But he's going to lose a position. Who's that? Is that Adam 4600 trying to force his way through?
Yeah.
Now, one thing that's going to be a little tricky here is confirming the order.
Yeah, I'll watch the leaders. I'll let them know when they're coming to the final bit.
Okay, so it looks like Jason may be safe at the moment, although LTEL is on a charge. I am just going to quickly jump to Dave the Harp, who is into the last couple of corners now.
Yeah, just coming round the final corner. And, sprint race is Dave the Harp's took the win. Lovely drive there.
Well done to Dave the Harp, taking the first victory of Season 6. Kulukutu, second place. GT Gavin taking third. Woolhouse, I've got to say, what a job. Fourth place for him, and he'll be able to qualify for the feature race. Jason's managed to hold on to fifth place. LTEL sixth. Adam 4600 seventh. Scott eighth. Oldman ninth. Dex, unfortunate start to the race. He's going to cross the line in 10th. He definitely got damage on his car. See it twitching like crazy. Stig v Rob, also damage for him, but it's 11th place. Ardington, it's a 12th place finish for him. Car looking in good condition though. Mulrine has been an interesting one for him. 13th place for him. And Dre right behind him, rounding out the 14 in 14th place. Wow.
So there we go.
Cracking little race that.
Sprint race.
Well,
dusted. And
yeah.
I think the main thing is Dave the Arp, he got the sniff of pole there and he were away, but we know now the top three finishers from that sprint race are not allowed to qualify. yeah, they're going to be starting from the back, but if Davey Arp can keep that same pace up, I expect him to be flying through the field.
Yeah, I mean, he opened up a 7-second gap in 4 laps. So, yeah, challenge accepted for him, I reckon. Okay, it's going to take us a few moments now while James gets the next lobby set up. The reason we have to do that is, as he will have mentioned earlier, is to be able to change the tyre where we need a new lobby. So we'll get that, James will get that sorted out, and he'll let me know when he's sent an invite. I was mentioning a little bit about the tracks. Last season we used short tracks to make things very compacted. So if drivers, if you pitted, you could easily end up a lap down until everybody else pits, and all that kind of stuff. However, this season, slightly longer circuits, so the sprint races are going to be a shorter amount of laps, and the feature races will be a shorter amount of laps, but hopefully the race lengths will be about the same. But yeah, also I'll mention as well, if James didn't earlier, obviously there's set points for the sprint race, and for the feature race there's more points available to the drivers. So we'll see how this season pans out. Over 8 rounds of the season, it's effectively 16 races and a hell of a lot of points that are available for the drivers to try and take.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, I think, as we're just setting up, and you're a minute away from receiving an invite.
Okie doke. Well. I mean, that was an interesting race there. I mean, by the looks of, going on pace alone, it looks like Dave the Harp is, he started with, his feet on the ground and running at full pelt, really. But he has got the advantage over a few of the drivers of having a season under his belt in these cars. But that could be, the same could be said for GT Gavin 2, Jason, Adam 4600, even Woolhouse. I'm so proud of Woolhouse finishing in 4th place there. It may sound a little bit sarcastic, but it's not sarcastic. Towards the end of last season, he had some really good races. A little bit unlucky, cost him a couple of podiums. So to get 4th place there is absolutely brilliant. For the new guys, Scott, Stig V, Rob, Ardington, interesting to see how these guys are going to get on in the feature race now.
Yeah, indeed. So, as the drivers are just chilling out now, trying to regain focus, and things that they may have thought may have gone wrong for them in the sprint race, they can try and adjust the setups. Maybe if they think they had too much drag on the straights, or if they had too little grip in the corners, they can try and change that for the feature race.
Yep, that they will. Has the invite been sent?
Yeah, there's been an invite.
Okie doke. I checked 10 seconds too soon. Okay, so as I go and join James will invite the drivers in. It will take us a few moments, and while he is doing that, I can go through a few of the perhaps the details of the cars. And actually, while I'm thinking, James, round 2 next Sunday, what's the location of round 2?
Well, we have changed from slightly shorter circuits, which probably provided a lot of action. But we did listen to the drivers for once. The drivers were requesting longer circuits, which would provide more aerodynamic pressures, especially through long, high-speed corners, which have got plenty here. Round 2 will be at Road America. Next week. Okay, so while you invite the drivers in, I could talk a little bit about the car and the Road America circuit. The car, just the same as last season, is a Mercedes-Benz C-Coupe DTM, an absolutely phenomenal car. And I tell you what, if you've never actually seen one of these without the body shell on, it's a work of art. I mean, the bodywork is a work of art as well. Top speed, it says 190 mile an hour. It'll go a little bit quicker than that, but you got to take a few risks with the setup and hope there's a straight long enough to do it. 462 brake horsepower and acceleration, fairly handy there. Not the heaviest of cars, but
they hit quite hard if you get your cornering a little bit wrong and make a heavy contact with another vehicle. But yeah, fantastic cars. DRS wings are on them, so the drivers can use those at any time during qualifying, warm-up and the race. And one of the things that many drivers will try and do with these cars is get them set up so for high-speed kinks, try and get it so the car can handle them. Now, talking about high-speed kinks, the Road America circuit, that's got some very, very long, very, very fast corners. It's also got some very high-speed kinks. That's a track that will definitely test these cars. Turn 1, it's a long run down to turn 1 with a sort of semi-heavy braking zone into a 90-degree corner, which then leads on to a long run into turn 2. So that's a circuit where a balance of a setup could be absolutely crucial, but also a balance of being able to use the DRS wing and on the later stages of the lap where it's sort of high speed but there's a few curves in the straight, could be very advantageous.
Yeah, definitely. Just waiting on the last few drivers to rejoin, and then we will get this session back underway. We will have a 10-minute qualifying session for the drivers, and then they'll have a 5-minute warm-up just to make sure they've got everything set in place, such as fuel loads, as we're going to be going for fairly longer, for 20 laps. Yeah, let's see what they've got in store for us. See if anybody can do a shock surprise and yeah,
well, we saw
away with a nice pole position.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last season drivers were able to go from the back of the grid to the front. We could see that again this season on the longer circuits, more opportunities to overtake. Something that the drivers will have to factor in, though, is if they have any kind of damage on their car inflicted in the first part of a lap, it's a long way to get back to the pits. I just want to quickly mention as well that if you are interested in getting involved in Front Row Racing on Project Cars, feel free to join the Front Row Racing Project Cars community on PlayStation Network. However, please bear in mind that our leagues are run on Facebook, so definitely check us out on there. To get involved on the track, Friday nights, K-Slay 1 will be hosting community events or random races, random cars and things like that. So come and get yourselves involved in those. It gives you the opportunity to put yourself on the map, so to speak, for a bit of talent spotting for potential reserve drives or even permanent seats if they become available. And also check out Front Row Racing's Facebook page and on the PSN community about the advert that was recently posted looking for Front Row Racing Project Cars admins. So yes, check those out. When you're ready, James, let us know and we can send them over to the racetrack.
Yeah, we're just waiting on 2 drivers. I'm just trying to work out which 2 they are. I think it's we have Jason Heathen, yes, Kalu Kutu, he's in. Dave Harp's in. IL Tell, he's in.
Ardington.
4600.
It's Ardington you need.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. He's been sent an invite, and have we got? Yeah, we've got Adam 4600. Scott McFall. Yeah, he's in.
So you're missing Stig v Rob and Ardington.
Right.
I shall pop them an invite. So apologies for the blue screen here, folks. I'll just get another invite sent to both of those guys. Obviously, there isn't a sort of randomness to the grid here, so these guys will be able to get in and qualify. So as soon as those 2 are in, we'll be able to head over to the racetrack and get this feature race or the qualifying session for the feature race underway. So Ardington has now joined us, and hopefully Stig v Rob will be able to jump in with us as well. I just want to mention as well, James, if obviously there's any of the drivers on the list that haven't added you to their friends, you may be able to do that through the game now as well. Stig v Rob is in, so let's head them over to the racetrack. A 10-minute qualifying session, 5-minute warm-up, 20 laps around the Catalunya Grand Prix circuit. And actually, I know we mentioned sort of F1 talk is banned right? Because it is. But there is something I actually want to mention, right? When was it? Was it last season, start of last season? Alonso in testing had a crash around the Catalunya circuit. And it was a big one, apparently. It was a hefty one. It put him out of action for a little while. Now, McLaren at the had a gust of wind unbalanced the car. But people were saying, a gust of wind couldn't do that. But then you watch F1 now and you listen to how many times people mention about a little gust of wind could spin the car. And then suddenly you go, oh, okay, maybe they were telling the truth.
Well, I've been on the motorway and even, even just going 70 miles an hour, you feel a gust of wind and it could almost push you into another lane. So definitely when you get up to speeds of almost 200 miles an hour, if not over that, a little gust of wind could feel like an epic gust of wind.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine, for anyone that has driven, driving down the motorway and going past a truck, and that wind effect you get then. Imagine, like you say, imagine that at 200 mile an hour. The effect would be, okay, you've got extra downforce, big fat tyres, and they're grip machines, but it could have that effect. Okay, Adam 4600, he's heading out on to the track. And just a reminder as well, obviously, Dave the Harp, Kalukutu, and I have forgotten, GT Gavin 2. They're the three drivers.
Gavin,
Yep. They're the three drivers that are not allowed to qualify in this one. So you could say then we could be looking at Woolhouse on pole position. But you have to remember the sprint race, it's short, it's fast, it's frantic. And there could be drivers that didn't get to show their pace. Now it's their opportunity to do so, isn't it?
Now, just looking at the pace of the drivers here from the best lap that they produced during the sprint race, Adam 4600 did a 142.8. Everybody else seemed to be in the 144s, apart from Dave the Harp, Kalukutu, and GT Gavin. So, if anything, I think Adam 4600 is probably the favourite going into this qualifying session.
In that case then, he's out on track, he's on an out lap, the cameras are looking at him, so why don't we follow him for his qualifying lap, which means we've probably cursed him and he's going to end up sticking it in the barrier somewhere. But sometimes, form guides they're guides, aren't they? I mean, okay, he had a quicker lap, but we never know if someone like Jason is going to just pop in a magic lap, or Dex, for example, who had that race with damage, so was compromised. But Adam 4600 is about to start his flying lap, so James, take us through it.
Yep, rounding the final corner. Over to the left-hand side of the grid, not running over that curb as it does unbalance the cars. We get a lovely camera angle, which is, lovely. No other way to say it. Just heading down towards turn one, getting up to about 170.
It was a good camera angle for me, but I know the one you mean.
Just heading round turn 3 now. Lots of different lines you can use. Going very, very wide there.
That's not one you'd want to use, really, is it?
Definitely not. It's very, very mucky out there. Really will scrub the tyres, as he will not want to go wide through turn 4. So there's a lovely gravel trap there. And that's one of the things I love about this circuit. If you make a mistake, there's a lovely bit of gravel there to catch you.
Yeah, you get punished, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. This is probably one of my favourite corners. Probably one of the drivers...
gravel!
Oh, that was a lovely bit of gravel there, so that will at least take about a second off his lap time. This right-hand kink at the top of the hill, that is probably my favourite corner. You go in blind and you sort of think, will it hold? How much can I use? And then you want to open the DRS as well. So, that looked very, very tidy there for Adam. Apart from that little trip into the gravel, he will probably be kicking himself as the car is off the racing line, which is nice to see as we're heading through into the final tricky chicane. Taking a lot of sausage there, and that's not what you want to do, especially not on a Sunday night after you've already had your Sunday lunch.
But I've had no food, so I want as much sausage as I can get.
Heading over the line. Let's see what lap time that is, and it's
41.3.
Not bad at all.
And that's with a little bit of a sort of travel
Chicken
through. Woolhouse, though. Woolhouse, he's done a 41.7, so he's only a couple of attempts behind. But as we both mentioned, Adam did have a little moment dipping the gravel. Stig v Rob, though, he's on a lap now. His first qualifying session in Front Row Racing. See how he's going to get on. Heading around turn 3 now. It's an awkward corner, but at the same time it is a lovely corner when you can get it right. His car's looking like it's twitching, and a car has just flashed past my camera and gone off into the gravel as Stig v Rob a little sideways into turn 4. He may have been able to carry the speed through there. You can do that and still be quick as long as you can stay on the road. Now down the hill into turn 5, get it turned around the corner, and then ready for 3 corners that James said are all of his favourites, the left, right, up the hill. And this is where we saw Adam dip a wheel in the gravel. But now heading to turn 9, and this is where you said, James, it's a blind corner. Yeah, you go in with your eyes closed and you come out of it with your eyes open. Oh, Stig v Rob running perhaps a little bit wide, perhaps had to get off the throttle a bit there. But it is a phenomenal corner, is turn 9. Now the hairpin. Personally, I don't like the hairpin, and neither does Stig v Rob, as he goes rather wide. Yeah, there's an older version of the tarmac. You see it around the outside there, much more of a looping hairpin. And much more of a beautiful corner. And obviously Spain, as always, 2 fantastic final corners that are there to annoy you because you can't drive on them, although Stig v Rob nearly gets over there. But this has ended up being a little bit of a messy lap, which could suggest to me that he's been watching the broadcast while he's driving and it's put him off a lot. But anyway, let's see what his lap time is going to be as we're into 4 minutes left of the session. It's a 146.2. It's only 8th place. So, quick look at the order at the moment. We've missed it. GBM Oldman, he's gone and popped himself on pole position with a 140.7. Adam 4600, is he just starting another one or is he completing one? He's starting one.
I think he's starting one. So here we go. Let's see if he can try it. Take 2. Then can he try and?
You keep an eye on him, because I just want to see what Jason's doing here. He was in 3rd, he's just been bumped down to 4th, but he's on a flying lap now. So you keep an eye on Adam 4600, because I wouldn't mind giving Jason a little bit of a qualifying lap here and see if we can put him off while he's on it as well. But because he does tend to be quite a calm and collected person. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a pilot. You can't get much more calm and collected than that. And if they're not calm and collected, don't get on the plane. So Jason through turn 3 looked quite nice. How's Adam's lap looking, James? James? Have you pressed mute? I think we've just lost James from the party, which will frustrate him. So don't know exactly how Adam's lap is getting on, but James will hopefully be able to rejoin the chat party. But Jason's been looking fairly comfortable and stable here. Question is, has it been quick? We'll find out when he gets to the end of the lap. He's currently on a 141.6, good enough for 4th place. And let's see if he's going to be able to improve on that quite nicely through the hairpin, using all of the exit curb as well. Now into the section of the track that I really, really don't like. This Mickey Mouse chicane, awful set of corners. Let's see how Jason gets on through there, avoiding the big sausage curb that Adam took a massive chunk out of earlier. Nicely through the Mickey Mouse chicane. Can he get on the power early enough? Oh, ran a little bit wide. May have compromised him a little bit. Well, let's see what this lap time is going to be. Currently on 41.6. And it's a 40.8. He puts himself in 2nd place. A lovely lap there. And he's only 1/10 behind GBM Oldman, who's on a 40.7. And that's bumped Adam 4600 down to 3rd place, who has improved on his lap time with a 141.1, but Jason just improved a lot more. Scott, he's managed to get himself into 4th with a 41.2, so only a 10th behind Adam 4600, but ran a little bit wide on the exit of turn 4 there. Let's see, Woolhouse, he's in the pits, so that's his session over. Dex is in the pits, that's his session over. AL Tell, he's still out on track somewhere when the camera goes and finds him. There he is. Currently 7th on a 142.056. Let's see if he's on a lap at the moment and going to be able to improve on that lap time. Oh, looking a little bit twitchy through the final corner there. So 42.0 to beat. And 42.0 he does beat with a 41.3. So we got 5th, 4th and 3rd all within 0.2 of a second. Jason's back in the pits. GBM Oldman, is he about to improve on his lap time? No, he's about to, yeah, that's it. He won't get any more laps in. Out of 4600, he went for another lap. Can he improve? Can he do anything? No, he can't. It's 3rd place for Adam 4600. Scott, 41.2 to beat. Can you do anything about that? No, he can't. That's his lap over. Woolhouse, he crosses the line. It's 6th place for him. I've just seen as well that James has rejoined us in the commentary box. Well, hello, James. How are you?
I'm just hoping that I can get back in this lobby.
Oh, hopefully, while we are on the warm-up session, hopefully we'll be able to. But fantastic end to qualifying there. GBM Oldman, pole position. Jason 2nd. Adam 4600 in 3rd. Fantastically close between those guys. I mean, ridiculously close between those guys. Okay, let's see if I can... Do you need me to send you an invite, James?
Yes, please.
Okay, I shall try and do that now. So we're into a 5-minute warm-up session. This is where the drivers can get the fuel into their cars, sort out their pit strategies, and get everything ready they need to do for this race. But yeah, James, the qualifying session there at the end. I mean, you were obviously watching Adam 4600. And just at the point where I said, how is his lap looking, I realised you weren't talking to me anymore, and I got really upset for a moment. And then obviously I figured what had happened. But while that was happening, the lap that Jason was on was a beautiful lap. Put himself into 2nd place in qualifying. The gap between 3rd and 5th, 0.2 of a second. So yeah, a brilliant little qualifying session there.
Sorry to annoy the viewers. You might send me one more invite. I've managed to get in, just in case I have another dodgy disconnection during the race. That'd be lovely.
Okay, no, I can't. Because the lobby is full, you can't send any more invites.
Oh well, I'm in now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's all good from now on. Apologies to the viewers for that.
Yeah, let's all blame James. But that's the way the PSN can be sometimes, and it has been a little funny today, and I don't mean ha-ha funny. But yeah, I mean, looking at the qualifying session, I mean, we could be in for potentially a close race. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Dave the Harp, Kalukutu, GT Gavin 2 get through the grid if they can. But I mean, I'm just having a look at a little sort of 3-way battle going on in the warm-up session here, just ahead of Mulrine, as the 2 cars ahead of him, and there's the dodgy camera angle that James was on about earlier on. So yeah, I'll tell you what, Mulrine looks like he's got decent straight line speed here, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think he may have set himself up for race pace, but he seems to be very tentative on the brakes.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, this is one of the benefits, though, of having a sprint race and then a feature race. I mean, you can have 2 different setups, or you can have a setup for your sprint race, and you work out in the heat of battle whether it's good enough for you or not, whether you want to adjust something, as you said, a little bit more wing, or a little bit more, a little less wing, more camber, less camber, higher ride height, lower, all of it. You can change anything that you like. So yeah.
Yeah, one of the main things that we've worked out as well with this car is it responds a lot to your gear ratios. Now, moving the gear ratios up and down is not advisable with this car. However, the actual setting towards either acceleration or top speed is crucial, absolutely crucial. If you nail it right with that, you can blitz it. Yeah. If you go too far towards acceleration, you can find yourself spinning round on it like a top.
Yeah, and not only that, you'll get overtaken on a straight quite easily because you won't have the straight line speed. I mean, gear ratios can they can always play a massive factor because it's not only what sort of top speed a car can do, it's how quick a car can get to that top speed. But not only that, it's how a car slows down for a corner or how quick you can go around a corner because, I mean, second gear is second gear. If you go round a corner at 80 mile an hour, you adjust your gear ratio, you might still be in second gear, but you could be going round it at 85 or you could be going round it at 75. So adjusting gear ratios can make a big difference. But I mean, if you, James, say don't adjust the ratio, just adjust that acceleration or top speed icon, that's obviously a much more useful tool for the drivers.
Yeah, definitely, and it's one of them things where you mainly think, right, what's the aerodynamics, what are the springs like for the slow corners, and really, the engine is your biggest tool.
Are you sure? should I go cheeky? No, I won't. You're all right.
It is in my case, anyway.
Okay. Well,
Dre's lost it.
He has.
It's a bit of a weird one.
I wanted to have a quick look. Dex has got the quickest lap time in this warm-up session at the moment of a 142.7. Jason a 142.76. Very close between them. But obviously, the warm-up session is just a warm-up session. It's get your fuel in, make sure you're happy with your car. But now we've got to get ready for the feature race. 20 laps, potentially 2 pit stops. This is a track that does tend to be vicious on tyres, especially that front left. So as the drivers form the grid then, and the lights will come on, and we'll try and get on board with the leaders as quick as we can. So away they go. We'll get on board with the leaders and the cars at the back, having to work their way through the grid order, but Woolhouse in third place is coming under a lot of pressure from 3 cars right behind him, but it looks like he's held on to that third place for the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, with me having that disconnection, as we've got somebody going wide, that's somebody in front of the Stig. Let's work out who that is. I think it's Dex. Had a bit of a collision there, and now we've got Kulu Kutu with Dave the Harp trying to make their way back through the field.
Yeah, he's up to 10th at the moment, although maybe up to 9th now as he's trying to go all the way around the outside of turn 3, and now it's going to become the turn 4, inside of turn 5 now, and so up to 8th place for him at the moment, but this isn't over as he's side by side with Scott, and Dave gives him a little nudge. I think Dave may have backed off a little bit there, knowing he nudged him, and that's just gifted GT Gavin to the place, I think.
Yeah, up at the front we've got Jason in P2 under pressure from Woolhouse. Oldman leads the way, so he's having to go defensive. Woolhouse trying a little cheeky move around the outside, but it didn't work. He cut it off, and yeah, it looks to me like Adam 4600 unfortunately. Oh, yeah. Woolhouse, lovely little cheeky move up the inside, just stamping on the brake. Can he get it in? Yes, he can. Nicely
done, young man. Well, I say young man for all I know, he could be in his 40s or 50s, but that was a lovely move. It was a proper cheeky look up the inside, but I did see in the warm-up session...
Adam.
Go on.
Adam's just having a look at Jason. He's just got a little bit out of shape in the final corner, just going over the line.
Jason's got a better top straight line speed, though.
Yeah, definitely. Under braking, Adam's going deep.
That was good on the brakes by Adam. Oh, Jason's coming back though with the tighter line around turn 2, but he's going to be hung out to dry around 3 unless he can tuck up the inside. But no, that was a lovely move on the brakes.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the grip in the corner to do
he's
it.
Going for it.
He's trying, but unfortunately he's understeering. That's just forced Adam out slightly, and he's got the move back.
A lovely bit of driving from the both. I think Jason was perhaps woken up a little bit there by how late Adam 4600 braked for that corner.
Ooh, Stig v Rob down in 11th place, just giving Kulu Kutu a bit of a shove, and that's allowed Dex through.
Hey, 8. Eltel just had a semi-spin and a power boost penalty. And that's going to cost him a lot of positions. I've just heard somebody hit the wall hard. And I think Ardington just clipped Eltel there as well. That was unfortunate for Eltel, but also very lucky as well, because he could easily have been facing completely the wrong direction.
Oh, GT Gavin all over the back. Sorry, yeah, GT Gavin all over the back of Mulrine. Just see if he can make a cheeky move into the final few corners.
I'm actually riding on board on his bonnet. He can, as he gives a bit of a nudge to the car ahead. I can't tell at this moment. Mulrine.
Yeah. Oh, he's on the inside. That was cheeky. Mulrine really needs to pay him a favour back and give him a little tap down to turn 1. But we've got Jason up the inside of Woolhouse down into turn 1. Can he make the move? Woolhouse is going really deep on the brakes, turning it in, just manages to hold on to that. What a lovely bit of car skill there from Woolhouse.
I've got a feeling, it might not have been Mulrine that GT Gavin overtook. I could be wrong. Let's see, Dave Harp's up to 6th. No, you were right, it was Mulrine. Jason side by side with Adam 4600 again around turn 4. I know these guys have known each other for quite some time and they've raced. Adam's saying, I'm having none of this, I'm going for it on the brakes. It cost him an apex speed, but it gave him the position.
It's not Adam, it's Woolhouse in P2.
Is it?
Jason, yeah, he's ruining them rear tyres though, he's Woolhouse. Spectacular at the moment, but it won't be spectacular as I'm sure his pit crew are getting ready with a new set of tyres. Jason got a lovely exit there.
Jason's got the faster car in a straight line. I'm actually going to ride on board with Jason's bonnet just to show how narrow the track here is in these cars. That shows how good Woolhouse's move was in that earlier lap, where he snuck it up the inside around this corner and then up the inside again into this next corner. I mean, you can barely get 2 cars side by side here anyway, but Woolhouse attacked and it paid off. But I think if Jason is able to get ahead of Woolhouse, I think he'll pull away.
He's out of shape. Jason's really out of shape through that final chicane, and that's going to allow Adam to try and sneak onto the back of him, but Jason's got so much straight line speed now.
He is going to give Adam 4600 a little bit of slipstream here, but yeah, I mean, Jason, he's quick in a straight line. I don't know if Jason or Adam are going to be able to go for the move. Adam's so good on the brakes there. But yeah, those guys,
a little bit of a kiss.
Those guys battling though is allowing the following cars to kind of get an inch a little bit closer, and that's GT Gavin 2 and Dave the Harp in 5th and 6th, who qualified or couldn't qualify, should I say, because of their podium result in the sprint race. Jason getting feisty again.
GT Gavin and Dave the Harp side by side. GT Gavin has lost out there. Dave's trying it all the way around the outside, and I think that move's done. No, GT's trying to come back at him.
He is. Dave has just managed to get ahead though, so Dave trying to make gains. He's already up to 5th place, and this gaggle of cars ahead of him is not too far away. However, GBM Oldman, he's running away with this one a little bit at the moment, and as I say, there he goes a little deep at the hairpin. Oh, Jason! Up the inside he goes, but Woolhouse goes for the corner. Thankfully these cars can take a little bit of a hit, but Jason made the move, but something tells me that Woolhouse will not give it up. He's having a look to try and do what he did earlier, but Jason's trying to cover it off, and here comes Adam 4600.
I think that's, yeah.
Woolhouse has gone for it. And he's made it as well. And now Jason's going to be compromised. Here comes Adam 4600 and Dave the Harp.
Oh, this is getting too mental for my tastes. Jason really needs to get in that slipstream, because Adam and Dave are getting a double slipstream behind. Yeah, if I were Dave, I'd probably just wait and see what happens. He's trying around the outside. Can he do this? No, Jason's covered that one off slightly, I think. Yep. And that just means that Adam 4600 has made the move to 3rd place. Yeah,
Adam made the move up the inside. Dave tried it around the outside. It didn't quite work, but now he's got to run on Jason up towards turn 4. So Jason fighting for 2nd place. He's now defending 4th place. And that's not how he would have wanted that situation to go.
GT Gavin's now getting in on this. His wheel wasn't working about 20 minutes ago. It seems to be working now.
Either that or he's switched to a pad, but either way, what a race we've got going on here. We're only 4 laps in.
16 more to go, folks. Oh, we've got Woolhouse, he's gone wide. That's going to allow Adam to have a little bit of a snip of a run, and Dave Harp is, it's just getting so close.
I just want to mention as well, Casey One has just cursed Woolhouse. He's gone, go on Woolhouse, lad. Yeah, and then he went off. So, Casey, that's on you. Oh, who's that up the inside? Is that Dave the Harp? It is. Yeah. Putting Adam 4600 down to 4th place. A little contact, though, and he's gone.
He's been shoved there on the exit. Dave trying to get the power on, and I think he's off. Adam 4600 off in the gravel.
Yeah, he is. Adam's down to 8th. And Dave the Harp's down to 6th. He came back on track near Kulukutu. That's put Jason back into 3rd place, with Woolhouse still in 2nd, and now GT Gavin in 4th.
Yeah. So now we've got GT Gavin. Can he make the move on Jason? Woolhouse looked a little bit shaky earlier. Oldman is leading the way, but he's looking comfortable at the moment.
Well, what a race. What a race.
Dave the Harp has just been spun round. He's automatically straight on the back of Scott for 5th place.
You're right, he is. Now, Stig v Rob is into the pits already, meaning tyre wear could be a factor.
Ooh, Dave going for a move on Scott, up the inside. No, Scott's just braked a little bit deep. Can Dave try a tighter line, which will mean he's on the outside, but no, he's already made the move.
Well, it took Dave 4 laps. Oh, who's that ahead of him going a little bit slow? That's GT Gavin too, going a little bit slow there. I was going to say, it took Dave and GT Gavin 4 laps to sort of get up to a position to fight for, say, 4th place. And Dave ended up dropping down to nearly 8th, 7th, 8th place, and he's already back up to 5th.
Yeah, just a little bit of a note.
Gavin's struggling. Gavin's struggling.
Yeah, Gavin's got really, really wide there through that blind right-hander, and that means that Dave's now up in front and covered that corner off.
He's not going to stop it, is he? He's no. I'll tell you what, the cars ahead have gone wide as well. That's Jason and Woolhouse. They've had a bit of an off at the hairpin.
Yeah, this is all playing back into Dave's hands, but Oldman is a mile away as Woolhouse is out onto the gravel.
Now we know that Woolhouse won't give it up, so he's going to fight it around the outside, which is now the inside. I tell you, look at this gaggle of cars that's catching them up as well. Oh, and Woolhouse into the pits. And so are two cars behind. They tried to go to the pits, and they couldn't make it.
Gavin tried to turn in and didn't realise he had Kulukutu up his inside, but now we've got Adam 4600 and Kulukutu going side by side. Dave the Harp trying a cheeky move up the inside of Jason into turn 1. He's made the move and he's shoved his way through. He's into P2 now.
Adam 4600 still trying to attack Kulukutu, but he's coming under pressure himself from El Tel. Adam trying around the inside of 3.
I think Kulukutu's took shades of Rosberg there, trying to cover him off. Shove him onto the grass, any sort of thing to keep Adam 4600 behind.
You know, just as the guys were coming around the final corner then, I was going to say, I don't know whether Jason is going to be loving this race or really annoyed in this race, because Woolhouse has put up one hell of a fight against him. But what happened just behind them as 2 guys, it looked like they both tried to get to the pits, made contact with each other, and both missed the pits.
Oh, sorry. Dave's just had a bit of a shocking exit through the blind right-hander, and Jason's now...
Dave ain't making that corner!
He's gone way too deep, and Jason's through.
I'm wondering if Dave's got a tyre wear issue or a brake issue there.
Adam's in front of Kulukutu, who went for a bit of a dive bomb up the inside, but he's made it stick. I think he's coming right at pit stop time. Who was the driver that pitted?
There was about 3 or 4 of them. Stig v Rob pitted a couple of laps ago. Woolhouse pitted. I think Ardington pitted as well. I could be wrong.
So Woolhouse was the driver that pitted on the previous lap. Oldman stayed out. Jason stayed out. Dave Hart stayed out. Adam 4600 stayed out as the clouds have started to gather over the circuit. Kulukutu P5 stayed out. ILTEL. GT Gavin 2 has managed to make his way into the pit lane.
Okay, Dave is getting close to the back of Jason through turn 1 and turn 2, and in the background there, You can see the cars in 4th and 5th also getting close.
Dave almost lost it through turn 2, just clobbered the curb and almost went completely the wrong way. Oldman is really seems to be just trying to take these tyres as long as possible. We're on lap 8. We're going a lot longer than I thought we would do with these tyres. Times 3 tyre wear. We could be seeing people... I think Woolhouse is the only one that's gone for a 2-stop, and he's currently in P8.
Well, I mean, a lot of it could depend on what tyres the drivers put on. I mean, if they put on the softest compound tyre, then they obviously won't last as long. They put on a harder compound tyre, and they'll last a bit longer, but compromise the speed a little bit. Let's quick look down at the order here. Let's see, Woolhouse, he's in 8th place at the moment, not too far off the back of Mulrine. GT Gavin, after his pit stop, is in 10th. Stig v Rob 11th. Scott is in the pits.
ILTEL on Kulukutu. Kulukutu's gone a bit deep, and ILTEL through P5. Lovely job.
Yep, Dave the Harp still stuck behind Jason in 1st place, but GBM Oldman, he's about to cross the line to complete another lap. We are ever closer to half distance in this race.
Jason in the pits, so Dave Harp staying out. He's a full length of the pit straight behind Oldman in P1.
Adam 4600 has also stayed out, and I must admit I'm getting rather annoyed with the terrible cameras on Project Cars, so apologies viewers for that. Obviously the last thing I want to do is look at a building and not the cars, or look at a parked car in the pits while I'm actually wanting to view the car that's going down the pit straight. However,
sorry,
Elto, nobody will want to look at his car because it's kind of damaged a little bit.
Yeah, got to apologise. For some reason, when it brought me back into the session, it put me in P2 even though I didn't qualify, which was a bit of a weird one. So whoever was starting behind me, I apologise if there was an issue with me getting off the grid. But we did put out a message saying if funny things like that happen, please be aware that we will not be moving off the grid, so take evasive actions to avoid collisions. Yep. Which I believe Adam 4600 may have been the driver starting right behind me, so I can only apologise to him.
Okay, Jason has come out of the pits in 5th place. I'm just wondering if GBM Oldman is going to be pitting soon, but personally I think he'll just keep going until half distance and one-stop this race.
So try and push as hard as you can now and get ready to make a call on the tyres.
I'm seeing spots of rain.
Well, interestingly, I've just heard on my headset we're expecting rain in 30 minutes. And then, or Dave Harp going for the pit lane. I don't know if that was GBM Oldman's engineer that I heard, but it said we're expecting rain in 30 minutes just as it started to rain.
Everybody's piling into the pits. The only driver that's still out there is Oldman at the moment. Let's see if anybody... somebody's stayed out. Somebody's going down the pit straight. I'm trying to work out who that is.
Well, this weather coming in now, this could be disastrous for those guys that have recently made a pit stop compared to those who have not stopped at all. But at the same time, if their tyres were dying and dead, there would have been nothing they could do about it. And they may just have to risk going perhaps a little bit longer right now.
Yeah, definitely. We've got GT Gavin on the back of Dre in P8. Trying to make a move, but I think they're on slicks, and GT Gavin's got all that shape.
Jason, pitting a lap or so earlier, he's managed to come out ahead of Dave the Harp, but obviously we have no idea what tyres Dave the Harp is on, and Jason just went a little bit deep at turn 1 as the rain has just started falling that a little bit heavier. But obviously Adam 4600, I believe, pitted recently as well. So, as I said, for these guys that have already pitted, it could be disastrous for them.
Yeah, definitely. So Jason's pitting that lap earlier, though. I don't think it was raining that lap earlier, so he's definitely on slicks. Dave the Harp, I believe, was probably the first one onto the intermediate/wet tyres.
Oh, we've got a bit of a battle. We haven't.
Leader, Oldman into the pits.
Yeah, the car that was next to Oldman is the car that I was looking at that I thought was for a battle, which was Mulrine, but he's following GBM Oldman into the pits. But, I mean, if you were racing, James, I mean, what would you do at this point? Do you stick on a set of the intermediate tyres or full wet tyres now?
I think it's, at this moment in time, it's just a light glazing over the circuit, just a bit like a pork pie. I will be sticking on the intermediates. When you see a bit of aquaplaning or
David Jason side by side on the exit of the hairpin. I mean,
Jason's out of shape. Dave's through.
I tell you, it's raining, but it's still looking quite sunny out there. I mean, obviously, it's all Jason nearly lost it. Yeah, I've got a feeling that Dave may be on wet tyres, you know, and Jason, and they're just coming into play, and Jason's thinking, I need them.
Oldman exiting the pits, and he is
Jason spun! Adam 4600. He's going to pass him, is he? Yes, because Jason's into the pits.
Yeah, so that's put Jason... Adam's off! He's crashed! Final corner has just binned it.
Now, on my screen, it looks like Adam is on wet tyres, but he's got damage on that car now. That's going to need another pit stop. But yeah, I mean, we have seen it before that it can look like they're on wet tyres, but actually they might be on dries. GBM Oldman, having come out of the pits, has got Mulrine right behind him. Mulrine, obviously, this isn't a battle for position, but is entitled to try and unlap himself if... well, he has been lapped, so yeah, he's entitled to try and unlap himself, but it looks like this rain is getting a little bit harder now.
Yeah, definitely. Oldman, even though he was running out there on slicks for that extra lap, he still managed to keep the lead and keep a fairly decent gap.
Well, let's see, Dave Hart running second. Eltel, through the pit stops, has managed to somehow get himself up to third place. Adam 4600 still in fourth place, but I think maybe pitting for repairs on his car soon. Kulukutu now into fifth place, going around turn 3. Oh, sideways around turn 3. It's getting a little bit treacherous there. Woolhouse, he's in sixth place, right behind Kulukutu. And Jason is not too far behind them as well. And if he's gone to the wet tyre now, he should be feeling a little more comfortable.
GT Gavin on the exit. Dre coming down the start-finish. Dre's going to manage to get in front of these two. Just exiting the pits. So Dre's now up to 8th place. Just comes out just in front of GT Gavin. Yep,
so safe place for him. 9th for GT Gavin and Stig v Rob. I tell you what, GT Gavin's looking feisty straight out of the pits there. Up the inside around turn 3. It's treacherous though. He's had to back out of it.
Yeah, definitely, but he's just ran straight into the back of Dre. I don't know whether he's got the window wipers on because he just drove straight into the back of him, but he's going to understeer. He's going to go for the up and under. Can he make this move? Giving each other just enough room to survive. Oh, and now we've got Stig v Rob up the inside as well, so this is going for a three-way battle now.
Yep, and not only that, there's a couple of cars behind them that could get involved in this as well. Oh, as GT Gavin chucked it up the inside. A nice little move there. Oh, he nearly lost it on the exit. I'll say fair play to Dre for giving him the room to make that move. But now GT Gavin's ran a little bit wide and Dre's going to have half an opportunity.
Woolhouse has binned it for P5. He's just binned it at the final corner, gone off circuit.
I think he did a return to track there, and Jason just managed to avoid him.
That was not nice. That will be reported, and he will be given a slap on the wrist for that. Woolhouse, we don't deal with penalties, we just deal with, giving him a good old telling off.
Well, GT Gavin's opened himself up a little bit of a gap now. Stig v Rob, I was going to say he's got past, but he's just spun it, hasn't he?
Yeah,
yes, he has.
Completely clobbered the curb and it's just sucked him off towards the barrier.
Yeah, away he goes. So that's a couple of positions lost for him. Mulrine, he's just sneaked past Dre. So while that was happening with Stig v Rob, Mulrine on a charge.
Yeah, it's looking very, very dry in the final sector. With David Hart coming round at the final corner, but the pitch straight and towards turn 1 still looking very wet.
I was saying, I am wondering if the rain is beginning to lift a little. I mean, I have no idea what weather we're in for. I never do, but yeah, if it dries again, that's going to spice things up or mix things up a little bit again.
Well, yeah, just to let the viewers know, Oldman, when he came out of the pits, it was the full length of the start-finish straight in front of David Hart. He's now only about 4 seconds in front. I believe the gap before was 14, so Oldman must have had a bit of a mistake, or Dave's just been a demon in these wet weather conditions.
Yeah, quite possibly. I'm just having a look at Kulakutu, though. He's sitting in 4th place at the moment, and he's got Jason behind him. But Jason, we know, he did an additional pit stop a short while ago, which was probably for the wet tyres. But you know what? I think you could probably get away with chucking on a set of dries now, because the rain has definitely lifted now.
Yeah, Oldman just coming through the blind right-hander, and he's losing time hand over fist towards Dave. Yeah, it's looking very shocking currently, but they're both set very, very similar lap times on the previous lap, so they're definitely both on the wet weather tyres.
I tell you what, though, the raindrops have just started hitting my camera again, so I wouldn't go pitting just yet. But, I mean, a splash of rain in Spain always makes things a little bit interesting. But for Dave, if he's catching GBM Oldman, that's a problem for Oldman.
Oldman's staying out. Is Dave going to try the undercut? I think he's got nothing to lose, so he may as well. Yeah,
he's going for the pits, yeah.
So Oldman's staying out. Will this compromise his strategy? It's still raining out there. Dave's been very, very brave.
Well, Dave may actually lose 2nd place here. Eltel is into the final few corners now, so he may take that 2nd place. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what tyres the drivers are on, but Eltel is going to continue on for another lap. Kulakutu has opened up the gap a little bit to Jason now. That's still a battle for 4th and 5th. Adam 4600, after a big impact with a barrier, 6th place for him. Stig V Rob in 7th, with Woolhouse not too far behind him. And Woolhouse definitely had a hell of an interesting start to the race. GT Gavin in 9th. Sounds like he's got, let's see, that'll be Eltel ahead of him, I believe. So that'll not be for position. Oh, Woolhouse drifting. It's not going to be quicker for you, but it's definitely interesting. Dre down to 10th place. Mulrine in 11th. Ardington in the pits. So Mulrine looks like he may have Dave the Hart behind him.
Yeah, just to let the viewers know, GBM Oldman's Sector 1 was a 28.0. We won't be able to work out Dave the Harp's, but the main crucial thing is GBM Oldman's Sector 2 was a 40 dead. Let's see what Dave the Harp can do now. He's on a fresh set of slick tyres. However, he is stuck behind the back marker, I believe. Yeah,
he is. He's behind Mulrine, but obviously blue flag's not in play, so Mulrine doesn't have to move out of the way, and Dave is aware of that. If you're quicker, overtake him. So some drivers might not like it. Personally, I do. But there we go. It's not me that makes the rules. But is GBM Oldman going to head for the pitch, do you reckon? Mulrine's... Go on.
Full 2 seconds quicker in Sector 2 alone, so Oldman, he needs to get in and out of the pits. Where is Dave the Harp? He's still coming up through the final few corners. I think this will be very, very close at the pit exit between Dave the Harp and Oldman.
Well, Eltel has gone for the pit lane as well. So, yeah, I mean, the gap between Dave and Oldman was not that big. Oh, I'll tell you what, Mulrine, he's on a charge here.
Dave coming through the final corner, Oldman heading towards pit exit. We get on board with Dave the Harp, and he's got 2 cars in front of him who are fighting tooth and nail. Coming towards the pit exit, this is very, very
there's
close.
Dave the Harp, he's going to take the lead.
He's done it, and he's managed to overtake 2 back markers in the process.
Yeah, 3 overtakes on 1 straight, can't argue with that.
Oldman will be foaming, but now he's got to dispose of these back markers as quick as possible if he's going to fight Dave.
Well, I mean, Dave's just had to contend with these back markers for the last lap, and he's used it to full effect. I mean, the speed he came past the back markers then was unreal. I was on board with Mulrine, I think.
Yeah, he had to go into the pit lane to try and avoid them two, but then he realised Oldman was coming out of the pits as well, so he had to sort of stick in the middle between the racetrack and the pit exit.
Yeah, so now we're on to effectively a 6-lap sprint race for for the win in the feature race between Dave the Harp and GBM Oldman. I think that will have miffed GBM Oldman a little bit, but he's shown he's got the pace, so time for him to go and get him.
Yeah, definitely. He's got fresher tyres now. He's got nothing to lose. He may as well go for it. This is the opening round of
he's gone deep.
ProjectCARS Season 6, and he's gone deep.
cost himself a little bit of time there, perhaps. Just keep an eye on that battle, James. Just want a quick run through the order at the moment.
Woolhouse is out. He's spun round at turn 2.
Okay, Eltel is currently in 3rd place at the moment. Adam 4600 has maybe pitting to repair his damage, has worked for him, has helped him. He's back up to 4th place. Kulakutu is now in 5th, with Jason behind him in 6th. Woolhouse, oh my days, that car's looking a little bit bashed and battered, but shows that Woolhouse has drove it as if he stole it. 7th place for him. GT Gavin, 8th place. Mulrine in 9th place, right behind Dave the Harpen. Just ahead of GBM Oldman, who nearly loses it there.
He's got a power boost.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, that's going to compromise him a lot. Dre in 10th place is actually catching up to GBM Oldman now. Stig V Rob saw his rear wing go past the camera. There we are, there he goes. 11th place for him at the moment. Ardington, his car looks like it's had a party with Woolhouse's car, because it's got just as much damage on it, unfortunately. But it's 12th place for him. No, somebody else's car was seen. Ardington's car is pristine. 12th place for him at the moment. Scott, he's in 13th place, and we have one driver out of the race, which I believe... Who would that be, James? Ooh, as Woolhouse goes very, very deep
I think
there.
We've got two drivers out of the race. I'll try and work out who those two are.
Okay, so 4 laps and the last sector remaining. Dave Harp got himself a nice little gap now to GBM Oldman, who perhaps just pushing a little bit too hard over the course of the last 2 laps and cost himself a little bit of time. But to be honest, it was the pit stop that worked for Dave. I mean, I'm trying to think actually. I mean, Dave will have done an extra pit stop over GBM Oldman because did he pit early?
No,
did he? No,
I think he just pitted at the correct time and just took the whole advantage that GBM Oldman had of 14 seconds. He completely eradicated because he pitted earlier for the wet tyres, which then brought him in by 4 seconds, and then he pitted earlier for the slick tyres, which brought him in by about 10 seconds.
Well, no, he was already He was only about 4 or 5 seconds behind him before they pitted, wasn't he? So he gained a lot. But yeah, pitting for the wet tyres when Dave did is what allowed him over the course of the 2 stops to jump GBM Oldman. That's for sure. I mean, GBM Oldman tried to hang it out on the wet tyres for an extra lap or 2, and it didn't work. I mean, as you mentioned, he was losing a couple of seconds a lap quite easily. Oh, Eltel, little sideways through turn 1 there.
Yeah, so the 2 drivers we are missing is Dex the Drum.
Adam 4600. There was a nice drift, apart from the fact he went off the track. Is this for position? I don't know if it is. No, it's not. But Kulakutu and Jason aren't too far apart, so Adam 4600 was lucky there. But Kulakutu, he's coming under pressure from a serious Swede who's on a charge.
He's really, really charging now. His lap time current best is a 41.5, and Kulakutu's is a 42.4. So Jason's got a lot of pace. He's got an extra second in the pocket. He just needs to make sure that he picks his right moment.
He's going for it. He's going for it now. He's going to have a look at least. No, he's not. Kulakutu covers him off. Well, it was
very, very close between them two.
It was. I'm trying to wonder if we've got anybody else that's close in the last couple of laps.
Dre and Stig V Rob coming round the final corner. Maybe want to get on board with Stig V Rob, get on the bonnet cam as he's right up behind Dre. Can Dre do anything to hold him back? I don't think so. Pretty even. Stevens on straight line speed, but Stig's going for a little cheeky move up the inside. Ooh, that was too close, and Dre just turned into a gap that he should have really left a little bit more space there, I think. Stig won't have appreciated that.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Oh, Jason! Oh! He had a look up the inside, and the inside became a very small gap, and he put Kulakutu completely sideways, but Jason looked like he backed out of that to let Kulakutu charge on for another day, but I don't think this fight is over just yet. Although, looking at that gap, it might be for a lap.
Yep, so 3 laps remaining as Jason and Kulakutu are just going over the line. Kulukutu is really locking his rear tyres up. I'm wondering what sort of brake bias he's got on that car, and Jason's just clawing this time in.
He is. I mean, one of the things as well, I mean, going around turn 3 here, we're talking about DRS wing earlier on, being able to open it as early as possible could give you a massive run, but Kulukutu, he knows he's under pressure.
Sorry, no, that was Stig v Rob. Andre just went for an absolute dive bomb and got Dre back. I don't think Dre appreciated that, but to be fair, Stig was kind of given no space down at turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I would say is, I mean, dive bombing, it's not a good thing to do, that's for sure. You'll end up getting yourself a reputation, a few warnings, and if you're doing it way too bad, no invites into races. Jason's got to run, yeah. This is it.
Lovely exit.
He's going to try around the outside. Is he going to go for a switchback?
Oh, we're a bit late for a switchback there, but we should have gone a touch deeper and turned in a bit tighter. Got on the accelerator a metre or a second or more earlier than Kulukutu, but Kulukutu's in the middle of the road now. Yeah,
Kulukutu's going defensive, and Jason can see that. He's trying to pick his lines to maximise his speed.
Kulukutu got a lovely exit there out of the final corner. They to run over the curve, and Jason's running onto the curve, carrying more speed through the final corner. Yeah, I think he may be able to snip a move down to turn 1 here.
He's gaining, but he's not quite gaining enough, and he's backed out of it early.
ILTEL for P3 has just lost it, but he's managed
Jason! Over the inside in turn 2! Side by side around 3, and it goes all the way around the outside of turn 3. I tell you what, he backed out at turn 1 just so Kulukutu could set himself up, and he did exactly that, but he's coming back at him!
Yeah, Kulukutu really not happy with losing out to that one, and Jason very happy to have that move on his CV.
It's not over. Well, I'm going to have to quickly just jump away. David Harp started the last lap of the race. GBM Oldman, he's also on to the last lap of the race. ILTEL, his car's battered, but he's in third at the moment. Adam 4600 in 4th. And then it's this battle. Jason Kulukutu for 5th and 6th. And Jason has opened up a little bit of a gap now. But I think Jason's going to be absolutely exhausted after this race. He's either been attacking or defending for pretty much every lap.
And now Dave the Harp on the final lap has just got a back marker of GT Gavin to contend with. I think they've both started from the same position, and I think GT Gavin will be demoralised knowing that Dave's a full lap ahead.
Yeah, he will, and he was so demoralised he's just ended up going off the track a little bit. But for Dave the Harp, a win in the sprint race, and he's on for a win in the feature race as well.
Adam 4600 just went off at turn 2, managed to keep it going in the correct direction as Jason has pulled out a gap over Kulukutu now. Okay,
so Dave the Harp then into the final sector. I tell you what, the race feels like it's gone quite quick, but there's been so much going on. A lot of the second half of the field not been able to watch through the second half, of the race. But for Dave the Harp, back-to-back wins in round 1. Can't ask for more than that. Yeah, absolutely fantastic, and I bet he still doesn't sound too happy or delighted on the podium interviews, which we'll do in a few moments' time, but he is absolutely over the moon, I am sure. A maximum haul of points for Dave the Harp. GBM Oldman, second place it'll be for him. I don't know, is he going to be happy or is he going to be annoyed, James?
I think he's going to be pretty chuffed with his own efforts, but probably annoyed about the way his strategy went there.
Yeah, definitely. ILTEL though, to be honest, unfortunately I can't remember where he qualified, but through all the dramas towards the end of that first stint, he managed to end up in 3rd place, and it's 3rd place he's going to finish. So I think it's actually his first podium. So it'll be interesting to get him on the podium interviews. Fantastic result for him. Jason, 5th place. I think if the weather had come a lap earlier, he may have been higher up the grid. And Kulakutu's not giving this one up just yet. He's still trying to fight Jason for position here. But it is going to be 5th place for Jason and 6th place for Kulukutu. Fantastic race from the both of those. Let's see who was in 8th place. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure. I think it may be Woolhouse.
For you. Let's just have a look and see. I'm pretty sure Woolhouse finished in 7th. So P1 was Dave Hart, P2 was Oldman, P3 was Eltel, P4 was Adam 4600, P5 was Jason, P6 was Kulukutu, P7 was Woolhouse, GT Gavin came home in P8, Stig v Rob finished in P9, Dre finished in P10, Ardington finished in P11, and Scott finished in P12.
And just a reminder to all of the viewers as well that all of the finishers in the feature race score points, don't they, James?
Yes. Unfortunately, though, I've just read there that Scott was in the pits. He did not make it to the end of the race. So everybody up until 11th place will have got points.
I'll tell you what, though. If I had to pick most exciting driver of that race, I don't know, it'd be a tough call for me between Woolhouse and Jason. The battle they had in the early half of the race, the first half of the race, was brilliant to watch. I mean, I mentioned when I was going through the drivers at the start that Woolhouse is a driver that has improved a lot over the last couple of seasons, and seeing the overtakes that he was doing on Jason was... I mean, that one he did in the final sector, I mean, he shouldn't have been able to do it, but he had the guts to go for it, and he was given the opportunity by Jason. He was given the room to make it work, and it created a brilliant bit of racing. It's absolutely fantastic to watch.
Yep. Just to let you know, the party session of... unfortunately for my disconnection, I've suggested the 3 podium sitters.
Okay, so I shall invite those in. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to sit at the track and look at their cars while we're doing the podium interviews, but we shall do the podium interviews nevertheless with Dave the Harp, GBM Oldman and I, Eltel, and we'll be able to find out, James, whether it's Etel or Eltel. Place your bets. Okay. Well, I've got to say, though, for round 1, 2 fantastic races there. 2 absolutely fantastic races. Very exciting. Okay, GBM Oldman has joined us. Welcome. Please make sure you got your microphone set to allow to be shared. Dave Harp, welcome. Also, if you could just check and make sure that you've got your microphone set to allow to be shared. And hopefully Eltel will be able to join us as well for what will be his first podium interview. And sorry if you can hear some strange noises, folks. That's my stomach. As I mentioned earlier on, I've had nothing to eat today. So I'm going to be, just a reminder as well, no F1 talk, folks, right now. So just to let the drivers know. But yeah, so as soon as this is done, I'll be whacking the F1 on, sticking some dinner in, and... relaxing for the evening. James, you may just want to, I don't know, perhaps message Eltel and let... Oh, he has joined us.
He is.
Okay, so he has joined us, so I just want to let all you know again, please make sure that in the chat party settings you've got your microphone set to allow to be shared, and we will crack on with the podium interviews. I'm only going to try and ask one question, and then I'll hand over to James and see if he asks a question and then waffles for 10 minutes or asks a couple of questions. Okay, Dave the Harp, we've seen you win in ProjectCARS in Front Row Racing before. You've done it again here today in the sprint race and the feature race. Some may say it's because other drivers aren't here. I say it doesn't care. You've got to beat whoever's on the track. So I'm taking that you're going to be happy with those 2 results.
Yeah, well, they're my thoughts exactly. I can only race against who stands up on the night. No disrespect to anybody, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, quite pleased. 2 wins, 2 races. I'm quite pleased, yeah.
Okay, James, over to you.
Now, Dave, my good friend, you told me earlier on in a private chat party, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of rain when it comes to racing on Project Cars. Have your thoughts changed? Because I think the rain really did play a big part today in that feature race.
Yeah, well, it stopped raining just at the right time for me because my tyres were shot, my wet tyres, and I pitted it at a lap earlier than I was going to because the rain was easing off, so I took a gamble. And when it came out the pits, it was bone dry, so it worked perfect.
Oh yeah. With we noticed as well with the sprint race, you managed to snatch a decent lap, and yeah, you just ran away with it for the sprint race. Were there any moments throughout either race where you sort of felt like it was going to go completely the wrong way? I think we saw at the beginning of the feature race, you may have been shoved off circuit by one of the drivers that you'd just overtaken. I think it was down towards the tricky left-hander at the beginning of Sector 3. Were your thoughts, my race is over, or were you thinking, no, I've got decent pace, I can do this?
I thought like I'd done a lot of hard work, gained a lot of places, and then I got shunted off. I thought I'll just keep going. It's a long lap, it's a long race, and anything can happen. So I just knuckled down and kept going.
Lovely. Going into the next race, which I believe will be at Road America. Yeah, what are your thoughts? You mentioned to me earlier that you think GBM Oldham will be your title rival for this season. Do you think it'll probably carry on into the next few races?
I hope so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some nice wheel-to-wheel action with.
I've got a quick follow-up question if I can. In the feature race, when you made your final pit stop, you came out behind Mulrine, I think it was, a little bit of traffic, so kind of a two-part question. Were you concerned at that point that you'd lose a little bit too much time behind him? And also, what went through your mind as you get onto the pit straight and it's like, okay, I've got two back markers, and there's GBM Oldham coming out of the pits?
Oh no, that was a bit of a scary moment, that one. Yeah, but somehow I managed to get through. Yeah, it was fine.
I think it was pretty spectacular with a triple overtake down at turn 1. That was fairly nice. Good one to tick off on the CV.
I'm going to defend GBM Oldham here, though. He was coming out of the pits, so that one shouldn't count. So I reckon we shut Dave up for a moment. We'll come back to him in a moment, and we'll move on to GBM Oldham. Finished in second place there. I don't know. Mixed emotions, maybe? A win lost, perhaps? Or very satisfied with a second place in a feature race there?
I'm really satisfied, actually, because I've had all of 10 minutes practice. So I think I've done quite well to stay on the circuit, actually.
Well, you definitely... Well, you pushed the limits of the circuit, shall we say, after that last pit stop, because it looked like you was pushing hard to catch up, Dave. Unfortunately, cost you a little bit of time.
Yeah, well, things happen. I did come out a sort of red mist a bit, but then backed off just slightly and just kept it on the black stuff. And we got round. So, yes, too long on the wets, of course. That's my fault. But I put a set of softs on afterwards and tried to catch him, but it didn't work. Okay,
James, over to you.
Yeah, Oldham, we know you usually race with your good friend GBM Vectra. Have we got any news on him? He seems to have disappeared off the map since he posted a picture of a pint earlier.
No idea. I haven't spoken to him at all for about 4 or 5 days, actually, so I don't know where he's got to. Let's
hope he ain't gone off the radar. But
he's got to the bottom of the pint, I reckon.
Back to the racing. Do you feel, though, if you're that strong in that feature race, if you put in a bit more practice, do you think you could probably win the next race at Road America?
With any luck, yes. it was just no practice. Dave told me what time he was doing. I was about a second off his time, and I was just hoping he was going to get held up a bit more, but he never. But that's the way it goes. A bit more practice this week. Not so much work to do.
I can tell you what, it definitely got held up quite a bit, because the battle behind you, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, in that first half of the race was absolutely bonkers. To quote someone that I know, it was absolutely epic.
But yeah, one other thing, the Road America circuit has got plenty of long straights. Do you feel that your setup down the main straight did look pretty nice, Oldman? Going to Road America, do you think that it'll be pretty decent there? But then again, we do have the very long right-hand corkscrew at the Road America circuit. How do you feel that the setup's going to be there, or do you think it's just wait and see, let's get to the circuit first?
Yeah, we'll get to the circuit, see what we can do with the setup, see if we can drag it round that corkscrew, because the ride height's a bit low for that, I think. I think we could be sit there rocking at the top if we're not careful.
There we go. So there we go. That was GBM Oldman.
So
now
we'll move on to our
mystery question. This was the question of the day, wasn't it? How do we pronounce?
Yeah, our third place sitter's name.
It's just call me Peanuts.
Peanuts? How the hell are we supposed to get peanuts?
I could have peanut, I could always be thinking so just when I tell it why.
Hey, did you hang on, did you hear how he said that? He said, so I just had IL tell.
IL
tell. Yeah, you see. Okay.
Right, there we go. Well, lovely to meet you.
Walnut. We'll call him Walnut from now. I'm not calling you Peanuts, we'll call you Walnut instead.
It went alright. I messed up, I think, on the first lap. I spun it, but then I should have followed Dave in the pits when the rain was calm. That I went round one more lap and I lost a lot of time. I don't know. Could have done a bit better, I think, on the pit stops. But that, to be honest with you, that's my first race ever with pit stops in. So I'll live with that. I'll live with third place. I don't think I had old GBM's pace or Dave's pace anyway. So.
Okay, I've got one question for you, and then I'll let James grill you, seeing as I was right, James. In the first part of the feature race, we didn't really see a lot of you. To us, it was almost like, hang on a minute, all of a sudden, where's this guy come from? He's in third place. So you said you had a spin in early on. So what was sort of that phase of the race from that spin to finding yourself in third?
It's just a bit of contact, I think, off someone, and I just lost it. I just managed to keep it off the wall though, so it didn't get no damage, and I just kept all my laps quite clean then. I did, so just picking everybody off as I went. So it was a good race, really.
Fair enough.
I just messed up on that first lap, and also might have been close to Dave or whatever, but I don't know. You don't know, do you?
No. Well, you don't know until you try. So, James, it's time for you to try and ask Eltel some questions.
Eltel. Right. Very nice to meet you, Eltel. I don't think we've spoken before. How do you feel, then, with this season? It was a reserve drive, but if it carries on with drivers not turning up, you may end up with a permanent drive with a race like that. That was very, very impressive. Do you feel that you're ready for a full race seat? Are you chomping at the bit for them?
Yeah, I'd love to race every Sunday night with you guys, but it's like no, I've just joined the community, so it's, you don't know. But I do like driving the Mercedes as well. It is, but it's so. To me, I would like to drive every Sunday night.
I've just thought of a question, slightly off topic. in the rallycross race last week, you found out that it was quicker to stay on the track than it was to cut the corners. And I believe you went on to win the race, didn't you, at Nürburgring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did. I just thought, what the fuck's everyone?
Apologies for the language.
What? I didn't know what to do. He thought, whoa. And then he's like, I just carried on the track anyway. I thought I'd just keep me driving. No, I didn't know what was cracking off at first on that.
Well, if you managed to watch the YouTube live stream of that event, which was pretty crazy, that we put on for a bit of a one-off, I think throughout that, Front Row Racing DP had a bit of a blackout and laughed himself to death almost.
I just thought, because the guy was in front of me in second, I thought, where the fuck is he going? I thought he's supposed to be clean racing. And he's off over the grass. So at first I thought, what the hell? And then the other race when we done, I thought, well, trying to just get the car drifting around there, I weren't cared about a win. No, it was mad, that was. I just thought, what the hell's he doing? Why is he cutting the corner like that?
The joys of rallycross.
So, your experience though today, how was that coming in for your first full both feature and sprint race?
Enjoyed it. It was a good racing. I had a good. I was with Adam, who finished behind me. I was with him for quite a few laps at the start, and then I got by him on the inside, and I managed to pull away from him and kept away from him. Then. But the rain did catch me out when that started coming down. I'd planned for one pit stop at lap 10, and then that was it. But the rain caught me out, so 3 pit stops and still finished third. I'm happy.
Lovely.
Well done. I know Kay Slay has, it looks like he's posted the points on the YouTube chat, but I might just have to get him to check that, because if each driver that finishes in the feature race scores a point, then Mulrine should have a point. But for Dave the Harp, fantastic result today. 2 victories, takes maximum points, which does equate to 40 in total. By the looks of it, Oldman and Kulukutu both on 22 points, with Eltel on 21. So a fantastic first round of season 6. And as James has mentioned a few times, round 2 will be next Sunday from the Road America circuit. It's a beast, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few crashes there as well, given the nature of that track. So final question from me for Dave the Harp. Are you looking at landslide in this one, mate? Is it time for your second ProjectCARS title?
I'm not cutting any chickens at the moment. So
yeah, definitely don't, because we know you can roll it on the last lap, on the last corner. I'm never letting you live that down.
I'm just hoping to have a good season with some good action. And, I got a bit of luck tonight as well, so
yeah,
just hope the luck keeps going.
Well, good luck to all of the drivers and the 3 podium sitters. And now, someone has just made a comment on YouTube that I just want to touch on, and it was from Jason. It says, well done, Dave the Harp, and he says, and all of the mates. I actually want to ask Jason a little bit of a question. I just want to know what Jason's sort of short version thoughts were of the battle he had with Woolhouse at the start of that race, because Dave, I know in the early stage of the race when you were fighting your way through, you kind of caught up to that battle of Woolhouse and Jason, and that was when you ended up getting knocked back a little bit. But it was one hell of a battle. So if Jason could give us a quick comment on that, I'd love that. Just to so we can give the viewers a bit of a view on that. It would be great. But for myself, it was one hell of a pair of races today. And if Road America is anything like today's race, we're in for a cracking season. Just want to quickly go on, James.
So I've just got a little bit of information for the drivers, just so they know. for next week. The sprint race will be extremely short. It'll be 3 laps, and the feature race will be 15 laps. Now, the reason for this is it's a 4.04 mile circuit. It's very, very long, longer than here. So yeah, watch out. I think it will be pretty much who can handle them corners, but then you've got to watch out because there's 2 extremely long straights there. Yeah, it's all about how you set up the car.
Yeah, definitely. And as we mentioned earlier on in the live stream, all information, sort of event information, will be on the week ahead post, which will be put up tomorrow and then pinned to the top of the Front Row Racing Facebook page for the duration of the week. While I'm just waiting to see if Jason's going to pop any other pop a comment on, just quickly mention next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be on Wednesday for the Front Row Racing F1 2016 World Championship round 14 from Monza. We'll be live from about 7:20, 7:25 p.m. for that one to see if the Ferrari team are going to be bringing another type of front wing to their home Grand Prix. And then on Thursday it'll be the Front Row Racing World Series from 7:20 to 7:25 on Thursday, again from Monza. Okay, Drew asking, can we talk about the race? No, you can't talk about today's F1 race because I'm about to go offline because I haven't seen it yet. That's what I'm about to do now. So final congratulations to Dave the Harp taking maximum points here from Catalunya. GBM Oldman taking second place in the feature race, and A.L. Telm taking third. Well done to all of the drivers as well, and well done to James, who, even though we had a few commentary box technical issues throughout, we managed to plough through. So well done, James. Anything else you would like to add?
Oh, I've just got a message from one of the drivers. It was from Scott. He just said his pit strategy went all wrong. It'll be better next week, and a great effort from all the drivers. Well done. So even Scott, who failed to finish in the feature race, has got high praise for all the drivers. So yeah, let's roll on next week.
Yep, definitely. Okay, that's all from us for this evening. Check out Front Row Racing ProjectCARS community on PlayStation Network, but remember on Facebook is where we run the league. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Come and check us out on Facebook, and we'll see you again soon.
Cheers.